The jury has rendered its verdict on Joe Burrow after only 2 games. You alluded to this earlier. He's got it. He's got it. And I look, and he showed to me growth from Sunday to Thursday. He ironed out some goofy mistakes that he made against the Chargers. He was focused last night. He was spraying the ball all over the place, completed passes to 8 different receivers, 61 throws, second most all-time single game for the Bengals, most ever in a non-overtime game for the Bengals, 37 completions, tied for second most in a single Bengals game, and the most ever for a rookie, beating Carson Wentz and Chris Winkie, who had been tied with 36. So Burrow has got it. And here's the other reason why he's got it. From 15-0 last year to 0-2 this year, he's pissed off about losing, and he's not going to take it anymore. Here he is from after the game.
Losing isn't very fun. This might be the only time in my sporting career that I've lost 2 games in a row. Doesn't feel very good.
Peter, you made the point last year about Kyler Murray as he was heading into the NFL. How's he going to deal with losing? Because he never has. He never has. And you're going to the worst team in the NFL, you're going to lose. And we saw Kyler Murray process it, deal with it, and fight through it, and he's ready to explode this year. Joe Burrow is going to have to deal with it and process it. And look, the thing is, every game they're going to be kicking and screaming. Even if they lose all 16, Burrow is going to insist that they go into every game with the mentality that they will win and that they never give up until the very end. And we saw that start to finish against the Chargers, and we saw it start to finish against the Browns.
In 1998, Sports Illustrated sent me to a game at the end of Peyton Manning's rookie year, the Colts at Baltimore. And the Colts got creamed, and they were, I don't know what their record was, 3-11 maybe. They were awful. But every snap of that game, Peyton Manning battled like it was the last play of his life. And afterwards, I spent a little bit of time with him, but I will, and not, he said, hey, whatever. I don't even remember what he said. But I'll never forget when I talked to Jim Mora. And remember, Jim Mora is a fiery dude, and it doesn't matter that because I said to him, Jim, I know it doesn't seem like it now, but I'll tell you what, that quarterback is going to be good. You guys are making progress. This is a pill you have to swallow, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, the hell with that. He said, I hate losing. And he just went off about it. And I understood it. But there comes a time that you look at a quarterback and you look at a team. And I'm not saying he's going to be Peyton Manning. All I'm saying is that you see a player in the first 2 games of the year, last night on the road, first road game in the NFL, very shaky protection, very shaky. He leads 6 scoring drives, and again, he can't play defense. He doesn't have a bunch of Grant Delpits, on his defense necessarily. And at LSU, you're going to have the best players. But my only point is, if you live in Cincinnati or you love the Bengals and you have been waiting for years for a sign that, okay, we're going to get out of the wilderness now, okay? This, to me, and again, with all due respect to Andy Dalton, who led them to respectability. He really did. You can't criticize that. But to me, this is like what it was like in the mid-'80s in Cincinnati when they drafted Boomer Esiason and they had that wacky offense with Sam Wyche, and every game was an event. And everybody, Mike, is going to be watching the Bengals this year because it's just like what LeBron James said last night. This kid has it. And again, it's only 2 games. You never know. And I don't mean to say he's Peyton Manning. I don't. All I am saying is that there's something here that is going to lift the Bengals. And you shouldn't be that concerned about wins and losses right now. Don't care about the record. Care about the development of this quarterback.
And rarely does such a bad team shed the SH from the it so quickly. Can I say that? Oh, well, I already did. I think I can separate the two. right? Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. We're about to go to break. Maybe we'll be back. Maybe we won't. But to have that boomerang, that reversal from being so bad to now you've got hope. And, Peter, here's the concern, though, and this is the thing that's going to keep people on the edge of their seats. Joe Burrow took a lot of hits last night. He took a lot of hits against the Chargers. He runs with reckless abandon. He has no concern for his body. Let's hear a little bit about what happened to him last night. 7 quarterback hits, 3 sacks, including a critical strip sack fumble when he got hit by Myles Garrett and then blown up by another Browns player. Here's some sound from last night on Burrow taking a pounding.
The guy's tough. He took a lot of shots, and he bounced right back up. He was still, putting deep ones on the money, and he was, always kept his eyes downfield, and he was never really worried about the rush unless it was really on him.
It makes me feel like a football player. I kind of like getting hit sometimes, so doesn't disrupt me.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel like a football player until you can't get up and walk. I mean, that's the problem. It's football. It's physical. That's fine. But you're at a level now where you get hit enough by those guys, something is going to break or sprain, fracture, tear, whatever, and you're not going to be able to have a long, healthy career. There's a reason why we've been praising Kyler Murray all week for his ability to slide wherever he is, for his awareness when it comes to avoiding contact. We want quarterbacks to do that. And hey, great, through 2 games, Joe Burrow's taken it. He's not going to take it through 16. At some point, he's going to have a hard time getting up. At some point, he's going to be on the injury report, unless he's Gumby or something, which I guess is possible. But that's the one big concern I still have with Joe Burrow, Peter. He's yet to realize, number one, it hurts, and number 2, it's going to lead to injury.
He's kind of got, an Eli body, doesn't he? He looks like he could be a stockbroker or something. He's not one of these. He's not one of these, big hefty guys. He's a slight guy, and so I understand what you're saying, Mike. But again, Kyler Murray's a slight guy too, and you saw the other day when he ran for that touchdown at San Francisco how incredible a weapon he is in the open field. And I don't think you want to take that away from him. I agree with you. You do not want a quarterback like Joe Burrow getting hit as much. You don't want Lamar Jackson getting hit as much. And so, but I do think that they've got to find their way offensively. And they have to see what works for him. But I totally agree with you. He's got to keep himself out of harm's way.
Yeah, and right now he's embracing it, and he will embrace it until the moment that he no longer does and realizes if it's going to keep you off the field, you want to find a way to keep yourself protected. A.J. Green's been on the field for the first 2 games of the year. Last night, how about this, Peter? 13 targets and only 3 catches. And I saw a couple that I thought, man, A.J. Green catches weird. That ball. I don't know what's going on with A.J. Green, but that franchise tag money they've invested in him this year, when you consider the other weapons they have, and I was impressed with T. Higgins. They've got Tyler Boyd, who had a couple of big catches. I just wonder if A.J. Green really fits the long-term vision there, or if this is just going to be it for him in Cincinnati.
My guess is that this is it. The Bengals might be the only organization in football that might want to keep shelling out the big money for him because that's what they do. But I agree with you, Mike, especially after taking T. Higgins, as high as they took him in this draft. I would be surprised, if they hung on to A.J. Green after this year. Now, again, A.J. Green might have an absolutely explosive year and prove us wrong. But in my opinion, I'd be spending the money on the offensive line, and I'd be spending the money on a corner if I were the Bengals. Those are the places where they are really lacking right now.
Yeah, I mean, John Ross, not the answer. Tyler Boyd led the way, 7 catches with 72 yards. And it's weird to see someone wearing 85 who isn't Chad Johnson Ochocinco, and that was T. Higgins, and he flashed at times last night. So they've got a bright future. And You need guys who are going to catch the football if your quarterback's going to throw it 61 times, and they're working in that direction. But you're right. They need the offensive line. The running game wasn't there last night. The defense needs to improve. Other than that, they're on the right track. And that's the thing. Joe, it's going to take a while. The attitude is great. I just hope they can find a way to win some games before he becomes defeated. But I don't think he will. I think he's always going to have this attitude, get through this year, and then next year maybe the Bengals. Think about this, Peter. The Bengals with Joe Burrow, the Ravens with Lamar Jackson in the same division. I don't know what's going to happen with Baker Mayfield. I don't know what the Steelers are going to have after Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, the one big warning, if you're the Steelers, you better have a plan post-Roethlisberger, or you're going to get potentially left in the dust by the Bengals and the Ravens.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.